Yes, Kenya. Tamu sana, tamu sana, tamu sana, yes. The center can no longer hold. Things are falling apart in William Ruto's government. Each passing day, the government is becoming more and more unpopular. In just 8 months, if you compare all the governments that have ruled Kenya before, Ruto's government is coming out as the most unpopular one. Checking through various online political pages where Kenyans are discussing politics, Kenyans are speaking one language. The government has failed. The government has totally failed. In just 8 months, it was naturally expected that the government ought to be still enjoying the goodwill from the people. How comes that in just 8 months, this government has become very unpopular in just 8 months? That's a question I want us to answer in this video. But before we answer that question, I want us to have a look at a very interesting and funny clip from one creative Kenyan talking about Ruto's government. Have a look at this.
Soma Ruto tatu hadi 4. Imesemaje?
Nimepandisha unga. Nimepandisha sukari. Nimepandisha chumvi.
Amesema amekupandisha kwa gari?
Hapana.
Amesema amekupandisha kwa nduzi?
Tawe.
Amesema nini?
Amepandisha uchumi wa Kenya.
Soma 4.
Na hata msipochunga nitapandisha bei ya usingizi pia.
Bwana asifiwe.
Amina.
That's a very creative Kenyan just trying to expose what is happening in the government. You are seeing that person there is reading a book. I think the book is Ruto, because Ruto has been saying he's a Nabi, a man of God. So there is that book called Ruto. And if you go through the verses of that book, the book just talks about taxes, and on how William Ruto plans on increasing taxes. That's the message that creative Kenyan is trying to expose. This government is nothing but just taxes. And that's actually true, because one thing that this government is very much known for is taxes. Taxing Kenyans, looking for any avenue that the government can tax Kenyans, to a point Kenyans are even being forced to contribute 3% of their salary to the government. They are being cheated that one is for housing. Nothing like that. The 3% housing levy, that's just a tax bracket that has been introduced. Nothing to do with the houses at all, because if anything, even if you were to deduct the 3% from those employed Kenyans, it will take several years for them even to hit that deduction, even to reach even maybe 200,000. It will take so many years. And we know that that 200,000 won't be enough to build any house. So that's just a new tax bracket Ruto's government has introduced. And today, the government called a press briefing where the housing ministry was trying to explain to Kenyans the housing levy. The government was trying to explain that to Kenyans. But from what came out from that press briefing is that the government is totally clueless and does not even understand what even the 3% is all about. It just confirmed the confusion in the government. And also some very keen Kenyans noted this. There is a guy called Ndumu Harun. Immediately after the PS finished talking about the miracle houses for 2 hours, Hussein Mohammed asked journalists, when is the government reducing the cost of living? Hussein, we are talking about houses today. Journalists, who will occupy those houses when Kenyans die of hunger? Hussein, thank you for coming. So you are seeing that even Hussein Mohammed, if at all that's true, he can't even answer the question that was posed to him. We are seeing a government that has raised almost everything. Very many Kenyans, as I talk, for those who are lucky to be able to afford 3 meals in a day or even 2, then just know you are a very lucky person. Very many Kenyans cannot even afford 1 meal a day. And we are seeing a government still going to an extent of deducting 3% of employed Kenyans that the government intends on building houses. So, yes, assuming you build those houses, who will live in those houses if Kenyans will die of hunger? Who will live in those houses? So I'm seeing a totally clueless government, a government that has got its priorities completely wrong. And I won't be wrong to say this, that in the event an election was done, and I keep repeating this, we don't massage anybody's ego here. We just state facts as they are. Ruto's government cannot win any election in Kenya. If it's about the people to decide, this government cannot win any election. And now back to our question. Why is it that the government has become very unpopular in just 8 months? Because it's a fact, this is a very broke, not even broke, a very unpopular government. Why is it that the government has become very unpopular in just 8 months? Uhuru Kenyatta just left office the other day. All these problems we are seeing in this government were not there when Uhuru was the president. It appears that upon Uhuru Kenyatta leaving, problems have almost tripled, not even tripled. Problems have really doubled and tripled, and all those. Yes, problems have actually tripled. Why is it that in just under 8 months, we are seeing all these things happening, the government very unpopular? The straight answer to that question, this is a government that was not popularly elected. Kenyans never elected this government. So the way Kenyans voted in the August 2022 presidential election, that's the way things are. Those who rejected the government, that's still their position. So if you see somebody supporting this government, that's most definitely somebody who voted for this government. I'm very sure that a good majority of those who rejected this government, that still remains their position. So in a nutshell, the government is unpopular because it was not popular in the first place. It forced itself into power. But upon forcing itself into power, it's totally clueless on how to govern. So even those who supported the government are now turning against that same government. So it's the government has become more unpopular than it was when Kenyans were going to the election. In fact, the best thing, therefore, for Ruto and his team to do, let them resign, because it's clear they don't know how to address the issues Kenyans are raising. It's not a life and death. This is a public office. It's not a must that now Ruto, Rigathi, all that team is the one to be there. Hey, they can resign, ladies and gentlemen. Let me stop it there. But just as I did indicate when we were starting, if you are watching us but you have not yet subscribed, subscribe, give this video a like. If you want to support our forum, I've pinned my number on the comment section. Contact me through the number or feel free to channel your support to the number. Let's meet in our next analysis. Thank you. God bless you.